Heyo, Stoic here. Welcome to the Bedrock Guide. In this tutorial, we'll be working on the Wither Killer at the inner island of the end. So there's all kinds of different ways of doing this. Online, you'll find a lot of similar ones. I like this one because it can keep all of the Wither skulls in check, and you don't really destroy your build. After a while, you don't have to rebuild it. So if you spend a little bit of extra time now, to make sure it doesn't get broken later, you'll just save a lot of time overall because I know you're going to be back here killing the wither. For this tutorial, you'll need an infinite water source, you'll need dirt and a sunflower, you'll need 33 obsidian, there's plenty of that here, and soul sand and wither skeleton skulls, as many as you want for there, so that you can get as many nether stars as possible. All right, one of the first things you're going to want to do is get your sunflower out. I love this thing. Sunflower, let's put some dirt down. Cannot grow on end stone, so we'll put it down. We'll know that we're looking in the east direction during this build, and west will be behind us. That'll be important because we'll want to make sure we're spawning the wither in the correct direction. Another way to learn that you've got the right direction is that you probably spawned in over here, and it's always on the east side. You always spawn into the inner island on the east side of the main gateway. So that's another check to make sure that you're going to be facing the correct direction, especially if you forget to get a sunflower. That's just another way to do it without having to bring anything here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to set this up with our fellow players in mind. We don't want to restrict people's access to this thing with a big old hole. So we want to make sure everyone can get to this thing when they need to get out of here, of course. And also it'll help us maintain less destruction in this immediate area. In fact, well, I've only seen one stray wither skull in this build before, so that was a lot of fun when that happened, but it proved that it's not infallible, but it will work almost all the time. So let's go ahead and get started. So we'll just put a perimeter on here. We're going to go one block on the outside. Every one of these builds or inner islands is going to be a little bit different. In this case, I've got most of it covered, but we're going to dig out just this first layer just to get a one block square, one block space around this, and it's going to look sort of like that. Now the next step is going to be setting up kind of a stadium looking thing. We'll skip one block on the west side, of course, and we'll come across and we'll just come all the way across. We're going to start making this stadium looking inner, it's even like a kiva. Anyone know what a kiva is? So we've got one layer on there so far. You know what? We're going to have to go another one. So let's put it in. And we'll drag it all the way across. You're thinking, how are people going to get in here? Well, we'll just help them out. So on this side, we're going to have an opening. So we'll just put some stairs in over here. You know, if someone's in trouble, I know everyone here has been in trouble at some point. Enderman's got you in its gaze. It's going to catch you. So we'll just put some steps in so people can jump up, get into that portal if they're in a tight spot. And it's just a courteous thing to do when you're working with other people in your realm. So we've got our stadium looking build here. We've got steps on the outside. We've got our steps on the inside. What we'll do now is I didn't tell you to bring dirt, but you can just use endstone for this, but it's easier to keep track. I like to let's put an extra block here so that we know what we need to break. We'll keep a one block gap right there. Come across here, and then we'll be ready to put water in a little bit. Got those dirt blocks in place. They're going to get grabbed by the Enderman, so we'll have to work a little fast. You can always put them back, but this is just a good spot for you to remind yourself that you got to get rid of these later. And now let's see, we're going to jump down here into the side. We're going to go down 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And guess what? We're going to go all the way around this perimeter, 4 blocks down. Okay, we've got our big pit under here all dug out. One way to check is you just put 1, 2, 3, and you should have 3 blocks underneath the center of this island. We can break those again. That's just a check. We're going to move on to the next part, whereas how we're going to get into this place. So on this next part, we know that we left this little notch here. Hopefully the Endermen aren't playing games with you, but this time we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we're going to take out this little pathway. We're going to go back 3 blocks. From here, we can start making our way up out of this little pit. Make sure you've got enough walking room. You can just use some stairs. Come on up. That way you can get in and out of this place. This should start to look like this. Kind of round that out. Make a little symmetry. And now you've got a way down. From this platform, we're going to put in our obsidian. So we're going to go underneath right there all the way across. We're going to use 25 blocks, so 5 by 5 square, and then you'll be able to fill that in. Got our 5 by 5 grid in, and right underneath our lower portion of the bedrock, we're going to go ahead and put another little platform in here just to make sure it doesn't get exploded. And then we'll also put in 6 blocks right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we should be in good shape for now. All right, for this next part, you're going to need to have your obsidian. We're going to put in a couple more blocks here just to make sure we're not going to get anything in this direction. So we put in 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3 on that spot right there. Time to get our infinite water source. We're going to go all the way around. You can see that it's traveling across our dirt blocks. You can use an infinite water source on this. You can put in just 3 blocks or 4 blocks in the end stone, and then you'll be able to have an infinite water source. It takes a little bit of time. If you play it right, then you can make this your own infinite water source. But you can see now we've got water flowing into our kill chamber. With all those blocks in place, we can now break out our dirt blocks here. We'll just take them out carefully. We don't want to mess up the water mechanics all the way around. So we'll get in here, take these out, and the water actually helps as a barrier against Endermen. They don't spawn down below where the Wither might get distracted, and so we can continue this build. So come on down into the kill chamber now. You can see that we've got water curtain all the way around, and we've also got this nice little camphor here that actually helps us prevent anything from breaking down there as well. Now, the trick here with the summoning the wither is to place a block right under the underside of this. Remember, we're on the west side of this gateway. We'll put these 2 blocks in. And now we'll summon the wither. Goes right to the center. He's just hanging out. And you can let this thing suffocate on its own. You can get your Smite 5 sword out just to make it go faster. I don't recommend knock back on your sword. Last thing you want this thing to do is jump up into the portal above and end up at your spawn location. So just take it easy and take him out. You can see this wither is trying to throw its skulls everywhere. It's hitting the water just replaces it, and the end stone behind it stays intact. The only problem we have is this side, and that's why we've got this extra obsidian. The one time I did have a skull pop out, it did come in this direction and ruin my stairs, but you know what, that wasn't a big deal. Wither's almost done. We haven't had any destruction down here. We'll wait for this final pop and we'll see what happens. We're in good shape. Everything's looking good, and we'll just take our reward right there. All right, thanks everyone for joining me on this tutorial. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. And if you like what you saw, hit like and hit subscribe so you can get more of the Bedrock Guide. Talk to you later.